one radio.
All of this will have to go
92.7
assembly, like I said, and all. Do you think this will see the face of time? Do you think this will pass through? Do you think that, or don't you think that some bills will be dropped, especially creation of states also?
So. Sure. I think some of the bills will be dropped. Some of them would never see the light of the day. Some of them will definitely be dropped. But I think the most outstanding ones, like this immunity clause, is likely to pass through because so many, although I know that it is actually affecting the states, the governor and the deputy governor, and they want to fight, they want to scuttle it, but I think it will go through. Some of the issues are likely to be dropped before. I mean, are not likely to go through the state houses of assembly, and then the issue of state creating one more state and some local governments that I saw there. Ordinarily, one would say that the Southeast had actually been denied of having at least equal state to some other regions, some other geographical regions. But unfortunately, they continue to be the one with the least number of states. At least if they have up to 6, as some other states do, some other regions do, they would come at par. Although there are some that have 7, but then if they have 6, majority of the regions have 6. If they have 6, it would be okay. So I think if it is possible that bill be allowed to go through, it would be good for the Southeast to also be equal with all the some.
Thank you very much. Let's listen to what the Senate had to say on immunity and the clerk of the House while reading this bill. Let's we'll also go back to the days of Yaradua. If you remember very well, that he was an advocate for immunity, but then
and the vice president, the governors and their deputies, in order to specify the period for the laying of annual budget estimates before the national and state houses of assembly and for related matters. Second reading. To grant citizenship rights to spouses of women, specific offices, and for related matters. Second reading. On fundamental rights and additional conditions for the proceeding.
Let's listen to the voice of our former president, Musa Yaradua, also when he talked about immunity.
I have confidence that the next constitutional amendment will strip these public officials of this immunity, and I am personally in support of that. So one of the measures we are going to take already, apart from the work the anti-corruption agencies are, is to have corruption monitors. This is an instrument that will create, would help people train monitors attached to public officials. We are going to begin first with the president, the vice president, the ministers in the cabinet, the state governors, so that these monitors will be trained in the art of investigation. They will have access by law to their asset declaration forms. They will have access by law to their accounts. They will have access by law to their spouses' accounts and so on, so that highly placed public officials will be monitored. Their assets, properties, will be monitored to follow what they are doing in terms of acquiring of illegal wealth while in office. Now, this is an extreme measure, but the situation in Nigeria actually demands this. The other aspect that we are going to introduce, all violations and disrespect for due process.
All right, that's Barrister Mike. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm sure you heard that from Yaradua. You heard the voice of our former president, the late Musa
Yes.
Yaradua. You saw how intense it was, talking about immunity. But a lot of people have come out to say that, well, Yaradua shouldn't have said it in public. That probably was because he said that in public, and that's why, there were kind of forces who went after him. He talked about president, he talked about vice president, governors, even ministers. He talked about
Yes.
asset declaration, not only for the president, for also their wives, the
Yes.
governors, the ministers. Talked about acquiring illegal wealth,
Yes.
and also the not following due process. But unfortunately, the man who said all of this, like Nigerians will say, probably he shouldn't have said it in public. I don't know where should it have said it. Couldn't see the light of day. This probably
Generally
if it was implemented then, maybe Nigeria would have been a better
Yes.
place to stay. Maybe Nigeria would have been a place where maybe Jackpot syndrome will have reduced.
Mhm.
Maybe.
A lot of things would have changed if the president, Yaradua, was the president of this country for a full term. A lot of things would have changed. But unfortunately, he was not able to go through it because of health challenges and all that. But you see, Yaradua would have been one of the best presidents that Nigeria would ever have, just like what we wanted to have during the Abiola era. Unfortunately, the forces that do not want Nigeria to be better will be fighting against the emergence of such people. And it's rather unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate. See, listen to the man. All the issues that the man was talking about are issues, as at that time, are issues that
Eating up
are
us now.
and these are the issues that would have been resolved as at that time. Now we are trying to resolve the issues, you see, several years after. And it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. We just hope that this crop of National Assembly men will see reason to put things in the right perspective to avoid Nigeria going around the circle every time. Every time you have this one coming on board, and that is why I'm saying that this, you see, Yaradua was talking about the immunity be removed for all of them, including the president himself. But this one, they are trying to protect the president. I don't know what is wrong about removing the immunity from the president. They want to remove from the vice, deputy governor, and governor. Why not remove it from the president? So the president should be free for anybody to take him to court if he does something that is not right in his personal capacity, not as the president of Nigeria. So I think they should remove the immunity in all the strata, not just the deputy, vice, and governor, not just the vice president, the deputy governor, and the governor. It should be the president, the vice president, the governor, and the deputy governor. That is my take on this.
Thank you very much for that. Lagos, let's open the phone lines so you can be part of this conversation. Yes, we're talking about constitutional immunity in Nigeria. Callers 0705 690 0927. 0705 690 0927. Or you can call us on 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. The other lines on 0802 978 8003. 0802 978 8003. Don't forget, you can also send your message on WhatsApp at 0705 600927. 0705 6900927. 7. This is a matter of immunity in Nigeria. I will have Barrister Mike Warner right here. We're making justice to this conversation. Now, the matter is, Barrister, should we remove or should this immunity be removed completely? No? And allow public office holder be prosecuted while in office? Or like some are suggesting that, well, it should be left to probably when 6 months to the end of their tenure. It should be a time frame. Maybe for 4 years, but the first 3 years should be immune, and then the last year should be the year where they start facing the judgment of the sins they've committed while in office.
I don't think it should be first. It shouldn't be first. It should be total. From day one, you know that if you commit any criminal offense, if you commit anything that is contrary to if you do wrong, you will be taken to court. It shouldn't be something that somebody would want to do whatever he likes in the first few years, and after some time, he will start to rethink and know that if he does something wrong, somebody will take. Let him from day one know that he is supposed to do the right thing. The moment we change our mentalities, the moment we change our laws to reflect what is on ground, to reflect the necessities that are available, the better it will be for the society. So it shouldn't be something that we have to say, well, let them stay for some years. After some years, they can be prosecuted. So many people argue that the purpose is to ensure that they concentrate on governance. Which governance does not allow somebody? Which governance allows somebody to commit corruption, to commit crime of various dimensions, and then go scot-free simply because it's immune from prosecution? I don't think it is something that will make them to deviate, not to concentrate or to distract them from governance. It's not something like that. It's the moment somebody has the mentality that whatever he does, nobody can challenge him, that makes that person to be bold in doing the wrong, which is what is eating deep into our society. So the best thing to do is to remove it in totality. And I'm still saying that it should be from the presidency.
It should be from the presidency. Thank you very much. What about the bill? We also saw talking about citizens' rights and spouses' rights. I don't know. It seems kind of hilarious when I saw spouses' rights. Could it be that is that a bill to allow you to marry as many wives as possible, or a bill that gives your spouse some kind of rights? Please, can you give us a little enlightenment?
Yes, frankly speaking, Michael, I have not really read that particular bill. They're talking about the citizens' rights. I don't know. We have enough rights in the Constitution concerning fundamental human rights and all that. That Chapter 3 of the Constitution gives every Nigerian. But be that as it may, if somebody wants to, if they want to bring what they call citizens' rights in the form of trying to ensure that a citizen has more than one wife, a citizen has a right to do some other things that are not practically, are not available in the Constitution, in the fundamental human rights area, sections 33 up through 37 and all that of the Constitution. If they want to bring areas that are novel and are not supportive globally, it would be wrong. But if they want to bring things that are actually within the ambit of the law, then it is allowed for them to bring them into the Constitution.
Okay.
It's not an issue of saying that somebody is right to marry more than one wife or not. No. That one is a matter of somebody's conviction. You the moment you feel that you want to marry more than one wife, you know where to go. You know where to what to do. So it's not an issue that should be constitutional.
Okay, it's not an issue that should be constitutional. That's coming from Barrister Mike Umonas. Before we let you go, because of your busy schedule, let's look at other things, talking about the immunity. In America, I mean, they have only 9 judges. Now, it seems to be like they want the fact that INEC also conducting local government elections too is also a questionable thing that the lawmakers are putting, and Nigerians are also asking why. Why could it be there any agenda? Well, quickly before we let you go, how do you address this too? Talking about increasing the number of Supreme Court judges and also INEC conducting local government elections.
Yes. The first of all, let me talk about the number of Supreme Court justices. Increasing the number of Supreme Court justices. The thing is that in Nigeria, it is very difficult to go from Enugu to Abuja, or from Maiduguri to Abuja, from Lagos to Abuja, to have your matter heard in the Supreme Court, because that is the only place that the Supreme Court sits. But as there is an innovation now by the Supreme Court to move from one region to the other, to sit in the regions, to enable the litigants have access to them. So instead of this kind of movement, moving from one region to the other to sit on specific weeks and months, it would be better to increase the number so that we can have this Supreme Court in regions too. We have them sitting in regions, having their judicial division in regions. We have one court of appeal, as it were, but they sit in various court of appeal divisions. If we can have the Supreme Court also sitting in various divisions, it would be good and fine. But we still have the main one in Abuja. So I think that would be an encouragement for them to increase the number of Supreme Court justices to enable the court to sit in various regions. The other aspect of INEC conducting elections in the local government is something that has really bothered me too, because INEC, the elections INEC conduct at the state level, at the national level, they are not even credible. So why are you going to the local government? What is your problem with local government? Granted that the electoral body that is created to conduct elections in the local government are always compromised based on the particular political party that is in power in that state. For instance, if it is APC that is in power in a particular state, you will discover that all the local government seats will be occupied by members of that political party. So if we have a body that is not like INEC, because INEC is a super compromised body, as it were. In fact, INEC is a challenge that we have in this country. If we have a body that will be neutral, that will not succumb to political intrigues, and then allow people to just write names and do whatever they like, and then at the end it is announced that that is the result of the election and the will of the people. If we have a body that is set up separately to conduct the election in the local government and even in the national and state level, apart from INEC, that would be better for me.
Thank you very much.
INEC, in fact, mentioning INEC is something that irritates my mind when I sit down and think and ruminate on what INEC has done to this nation. It's so unfortunate.
So unfortunate, Barrister. Thank you very much for being part of the show this morning on Spotlight on Super 92.7 FM. All right, we'll take a short break when we return. Yes, definitely still talking about the constitutional immunity in Nigeria. We head straight Yes, to the NBA, where we'll talk to the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ikeja, 2004 to 2006, who was also the vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association. We'll go for the short break. We'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
In a land of broadcasting and a time of declining family values,
Super FM.
You're one family, one radio.
Yesterday killed the second reading in the House of Representatives bills to remove the immunity conferred on the vice president, governors, and the deputies. Was also passed a bill to qualify the immunity conferred on the president, remove the immunity conferred on the vice president, governors, also to alter the constitution to separate the offices of the Attorney General of the Federation, Attorney General of the state from the offices of the Minister of Justice of the federal government and Commissioner for Justice of the government of the state. Well, it also passed a bill to grant citizenship rights to spouse of women from Nigeria, specifying the minimum number of youth and women that may be appointed into specific offices. Also, a bill stating the general elections for the offices of the president, state governors, National Assembly, state houses of assembly, and local government areas councils shall be conducted simultaneously on the same day. A bill to also increase Lagos local government areas from 20 to 57 local government areas. Well, this and more. Joining us live to look at this is the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ikeja, from 2004 to 2006, and also the vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Dr. Adekunle Ojo, SAN. Doctor, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, my brother. How are you today?
Well, I'm fine. How are you doing too?
Well, I'm okay. Good morning, our listeners back home. Good morning to you all.
All right, let's go straight to the business of the day. I mean, is getting rid of immunity going to be the game changer?
Well, to a large extent, because basically, immunity, especially political immunity or constitutional immunity, has its advantages and its disadvantages. But like every other concept that is known to man, it could be abused, and often it is abused on this part of the world. And perhaps we might have to look at the immunity as it is being practiced in America, because it must have a link. Whatever you do that will be that you can be immune from must be while you are acting in your official capacity for any officer to enjoy immunity in America. It's not just anything that you do. As we speak now, Trump can be sued. That's it. For any other thing outside his office, he can be sued even in civil matters. If it's criminal, it can be taken to court. It can be alleged. But ordinarily in Nigeria, it's blanket. Once you become a governor, once you become deputy governor, president or vice president, you cannot be alleged in any form. You cannot be sued in any form, though you can be investigated. That's the truth. But having said that much, I think ours is too verbose, it's too large, it's too bogus. We don't need that kind of immunity, given the fact that, the tendency in this part of the world for people to pilfer into the Commonwealth, to steal from the poors. We just need to have a second look at it. In fact, unfortunately, some people are asking as we speak now that the Senate President should enjoy the same immunity, that the Speaker should enjoy the same immunity. That means they are asking the speakers of all the states to enjoy similar immunity, so that nobody will query any Obasa, nobody will query any Akpabio, nobody will query any Abbas. So I think basically what we have now, we should have a review, and a review downward in a manner that it won't be as large as it is now. If somebody kill under the guise of the fact that you are president, why should you not be tried, even while you are in office? So these are things that we should look at. With the way it is now, it should be curtailed. It should be limited to official acts of the president. Because if you are carrying out anything as a president in your official capacity, yes, you can't be, because if they keep taking you to court over it from time to time, it will distract. It might lead to multiplicity of cases. It might as well bog down the speed at which governance is moving, because people can just be, we can take things to the level of absurdity in this part of the world. Because if you take away immunity totally, then you can have 10,000 cases hanging on the president, so that at the end of the day, he doesn't even have time to do what he's supposed to do. And you can bet me, same thing can happen to the governor. But then, having said that much, I think the immunity clause should be reviewed to reduce, to limit the area of immunity to what the president, the vice president, the governor, the deputy governor does in his official capacity, nothing more than that. And this bogus clause that says that you can't be tried for criminal. Why should you not be tried for criminal activities?
I mean, Dr. Adekunle Ojo, you are a senior advocate of Nigeria. I mean, as it is right now, the ones that should be tried in courts are said to be enjoying immunity at the Aso Villa, while the ones that should be honored are being tried in court.
Yeah.
Have there been any move from some litigants, from senior advocates like you, to probably checkmate this? Apart from what the lawmakers are doing now, have there been any move legally, from litigants to make sure that things like this are being curtailed?
Well, I will tell you this for free, that on several occasions, moves were made by renowned senior court of Nigeria, renowned people. You remember the case of Alamesia the other time. At a point, it became a big contest within this country. I wasn't a senior court of Nigeria then, but I was the chairman NBA Ikeja. I lent my voice to it. I remember Chief Ganifa Wemi of blessed memory. I remember Sage. People, because the irony of it is that when you have an issue, if you have 5 lawyers, we can take 5 different positions. While Ganifa Wemi and Co said there shouldn't be immunity, some others said there should be immunity. But then the truth is that, maybe I should add this quickly again, the immunity that a governor enjoys here in Nigeria, he doesn't enjoy it outside Nigeria. You remember Alamesia was actually convicted in UK, despite the fact that he was a sitting governor. So it means that the immunity because that is where we try to distinguish between sovereign immunity and constitutional immunity. Sovereign is only applicable to Nigeria as a country if the president is out of the country, or the vice president, because they are carrying the entire statehood of Nigeria wherever they go to, so they can enjoy their immunity. But having said that much, I think legal luminaries within and outside, especially in Nigeria, we are really doing our best. The NBA is doing its best. The body of Senior Court of Nigeria, we make recommendations from time to time. So for me, really, because if you look at it, even for the bill that is already pending at the National Assembly, you see the footprint of lawyers in it. So I think basically it's not about who is enjoying and who is not enjoying. It's about, let us have a standard so that things can move better move forward for us in this country. The immunity that we have as we speak now is too bogus, is too large, is too unreasonable. So we have every need to curtail. And unfortunately, in US, people will say, "Oh, I'm waiving my immunity," but you rarely see a Nigerian waive his or her immunity. You don't get to see people say that because
they will fight for it.
Yes, they fight for it. They will rather ask you to give them more immunity. You imagine when we were talking about picking the information from Code of Conduct Bureau the last time when President Buhari was in the office and Oshibaja, at a point, people felt, look, given what we have spoken about this president, that they are transparent people, those information should be allowed to be released, but they still insist that it shouldn't be released. So for an average Nigerian, there is a price to be paid. There is a price. Every Nigerian has a price that can be paid for him to do whatever he wants to do. So transparency and whatever accountability, it has become a subject of diverse interpretation in Nigeria. So if I say I'm a president, why should people not be able to find out what I own as at when I'm becoming president and while I was in the office and when I'm leaving the place? But you see situations whereby they say you cannot ask for it. Those are the little things that anybody can even get. Because if I don't know what you have, why you want to aspire to that office, then how will I be able to say this is what you had while you are in the office? Juxtapose it with your salary, juxtapose it with what you had. But you see, we have gotten to a level that, humbly speaking, we need to do more for ourselves. We need to be more open for ourselves.
A big one there. We need to do more for ourselves. Yes, Lagos, don't forget, you can be part of this conversation right here on Spotlight on Super FM 92.7. You can call us on the 0705 690 0927. I take it again, it's 0705 690 0927. Or reach us on the other line on the 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Yeah, don't forget also you can send us your messages on WhatsApp. 0705 690 0927. 0705 690 0927. Dr. Adekunle Ojo, our senior advocate, this matter of this issue of immunity didn't just start now. If you remember the days of Yaradua, he really contested on it. He talked about it. But before that, let's just go to our phone lines. Okay, please call us back. 0705 690 0927 or 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Let me take you back to the days of Yaradua, Dr. Adekunle Ojo, on everything he said. Yeah, let's listen to the voice of our former president, Musa Yaradua.
I have confidence that the next constitutional amendment will strip these public officials of this immunity, and I am personally in support of that. So one of the measures we are going to take already, apart from the work the anti-corruption agencies, is to have corruption monitors. People train monitors attached to public officials. We are going to begin first with the president, the vice president, the ministers in the cabinet, the state governors, so that these monitors will be trained in the art of investigation. They will have access by law to the asset declaration forms. They will have access by law to their accounts. They will have access by law to their spouses' accounts and so on, so that highly placed public officials will be monitored. Their assets, properties will be monitored to follow what they are doing in terms of acquiring of illegal wealth while in office. Now, this is an extreme measure, but the situation in Nigeria actually demands this. The other aspect that we are going to introduce, all violations and disrespect for due process.
I mean, Dr. Adekunle Joe, I'm sure you had the former president there talking about the
We're
immunity.
not very audible.
Okay, he talked about so many things. He talked about the president, vice president, governors, even ministers, having been taking away immunity from them. Talked about asset declaration, not for just for the president, for also their wives and even the governors.
Yeah.
Talked about checkmating them and saying them not to acquire illegal wealth while in office, assessing their accounts and also their properties. He said, I mean, this is a situation Nigeria demands.
Yes, if you recollect that more, I made an example of a particular institution in Nigeria. That is the Code of Conduct Bureau. Do you know that the Code of Conduct Bureau, if well utilized by this country, is more important than the so-called EFCC to combat corruption? Because as much as governor enjoys immunity, deputy governor enjoys immunity, all the other officers don't enjoy immunity. And I know for sure that most of the checks or disbursement of government revenue is not done by the president or the vice president, the governor and the deputy governor. It is done by officers under them. So meaning that this Code of Conduct Bureau, if it is well manned, an appropriate person, somebody who is yearning to ensure that Nigeria becomes a better place, becomes the head of that kind of a place, then definitely he will have to walk around the clock. Because with the Code of Conduct Bureau, you can actually checkmate most of the corrupt practices in Nigeria. But unfortunately, somebody comes out and says, okay, I don't want my information released. How do you say you don't want your information released?
Oh, you're doing a public service.
You are a public officer. You are already in the public. So why should your affairs not be known to the public? So, but you can imagine with somebody like Yaradua, if he had lived his 4 years or even 8 years, whichever, maybe perhaps Nigeria would have been a better place. But unfortunately, he left before his time. He left before he could conclude, and he couldn't really. Ill health did not actually allow him to achieve a lot of things because he was a frugal person, and there is no sin in being frugal. He was a man who was so positive about how public funds should be spent. He ensured to the best of his ability that nobody abused anything. Unlike some other people who came there after who said they are incorruptible, and yet every other person under them was still left, right, and center. Even their children, their wives, their daughters, their everybody. But under Yaradua, you found out that nobody could flaunt any wealth. That's more reason why nobody has been able to prosecute any of the officers that served under Yaradua. So, but unfortunately, the moment he left the stage, then the Nigeria usual style came up. Yeah, the whole thing crumbled. So, but it's unfortunate Nigeria lost him so early. Perhaps someone like that would have helped us because he had his attitude, and there was no regret in that. Even his elder brother, Musa Yaradua, knew that his brother was frugal and his brother knew where he was going to. He was so contented. And basically, an average Nigerian is not contented. That is the truth. Though an average human being, you might say, is not contented, but the system has made it worse for us here because the system is not even allowing us to be contented. There is no reward system. Those that are doing well, they are not getting anything as a reward for doing well. So those that are doing badly, they are not getting any reward for doing badly as well. If somebody has stolen Nigeria blue-black and there is no cenotaph anywhere in the nation to say, okay, what you recovered from him, what stops Nigeria from having a thing like, okay, the money that we recovered from Sonny Abacha from abroad, this is what we have done with it. We can just put a cenotaph in front of it. This building was constructed, or this edifice was done, or this institute was constructed from the money recovered from General Sonny Abacha and all whatnot. So his children will see it. This we need reward system in this country.
Of course.
So even if a man says he enjoy immunity, then definitely you can still make him to pay for it in several other ways. Because if you are leaving office, you can still be asked to come and account for what you did while you are in office. I think we need a reward system.
We need a reward system. It was really a great loss for Nigeria. That's talking about former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. It was really a great loss. But before we let you go, finally, the bills were not debated. Are you positive about the process?
Well, I am not positive, and I will tell you why I'm not positive.
Why, please?
We are in a country where most people, especially those that have the opportunity up there, they easily compromise. You imagine a lot of people before they became senators. Oh, they were in the forefront of nobody must stay. But they got to the Senate, the same money that we are all criticizing because before they got to the Senate, they collected theirs and they kept quiet. So Nigeria, when it comes to money, when it comes to political interest, they can compromise anything. So I don't really see anything coming out of whatever amendment we are seeking. Now, that's the truth. I'm not positive. Right. It is because of the attitude of our legislators. I don't see them because some of them have been governors before and they knew fully well that they abused that office and they used the cover of immunity to do that. And some are aspiring to become governors and they want to enjoy even greater immunity. And you can imagine members of National Assembly asking that the Senate President and the Speaker should enjoy immunity and not whatnot. So for me, really, I don't see anything coming, anything good. When it comes to money, when it comes to political interest, we don't trust an average Nigerian, especially our politicians. We don't trust them.
Okay.
I don't trust them.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Adekunle Ojo. But quickly, there was a breaking yesterday about in Rivers State about the sole administrator suspending all political office holders. Quickly, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, what's your comment on this? Is it right or wrong? In 1 minute, please.
Well, because he's a sole administrator and we have a state of emergency there, naturally, all constitutional institutions are suspended except the courts. So we don't have to deceive ourselves. Once there is a state of emergency, then every other thing that has to do with the constitution becomes secondary. Only the court stands now. So every political office holders, they have to leave.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'm not saying it is right and I'm not saying it is wrong, but that is the expectation.
That is the expectation. Thank you very much, Dr. Adekunle Ojo, SA Han, the chairman.